Well, you have some answers, and I think you've got some great ideas, but I think one of the things that we talked about yesterday was the amount of children that you had communicated with, that you had taught, that found themselves in these horrific situations that you had a kind of experience with them. Mm-hmm. And I think that human beings today, at some point in time, we have to realize that we are some sort of a superorganism. Mm-hmm. We are all connected. And if this kid who grows up in this horrible environment and is just abused and subject to all sorts of violence, and that kid's going to go perpetuate more of the same if no one steps in. Yeah. If no one offers some solid example that you can do better. Totally. Like some sort of just some pathway through the bullshit. Yeah. And bullshit's not a strong enough word.
Yeah, and for me, like, so I've spent a lot of time thinking about and reading about and studying sort of both rites of passage in different parts of the world, but then also just this really simple concept of mentoring or mentorship or role models. And I think I got real lucky. Like, I not only did I have a good family and good parents, like amazing parents, I have this like string of role models that I had from little kids. So we've talked about this briefly before, but my first one was my Taekwondo instructor when I was a kid, Master Mike. You know, like he was just, I was super shy, super like very soft as a kid, and then this dude in a sports car drove into Drayton, North Dakota, and I started taking Taekwondo with him, and he was just this, you know, badass, brash, strong, confident guy, and man, I looked up to him. Like, I attribute a lot of my, the good qualities I value about myself, both to him and to Taekwondo itself, because it teaches, I think it teaches great things to kids. And so he was a mentor, and then in high school I had this farmer. I worked on a pig farm. His name is John Wiersma, and we didn't talk about shit. He didn't fill me full of wisdom. What we did was just work together. We worked side by side. We like shoveled pig shit and like dumped it on the field over and over and over. And I went to college. I had this great mentor who sort of, you know, nonchalantly took me under his wing, and kind of on and on throughout my life, man. And I don't know. I've spent a lot of time thinking about it, and I just really wish that for people, or want that for people, you know, because you can't rely on your parents to give you everything you need in this life. It's too much pressure for.
Well, also I think, as we were talking about earlier, their parents didn't know what the fuck they were doing, and their parents' didn't know what the fuck they were doing, and for a lot of us, that's the reality that we find ourselves being born into. But I think with some of the things that you've done, and also with the amount of data and information that's available today, I think we have a chance of affecting our society and our culture and the way we communicate with each other, and just who we are as a species, this crazy, weird superorganism of human beings. We're in a better position to change that than ever before. Like, my grandparents came over from Italy and Ireland on a fucking boat. Nobody knew what the hell was going on. Their parents didn't know shit when they brought them over here. They just heard there was a better chance. There was an opportunity. I mean, they might have saw a photo of what New York looked like, you know? Right. And they might have. And they took a chance and they came over here. The difference between them and the kind of experience and the kind of access to information that your children are going to have, or my children are going to have, is fucking profound. Yeah, man. You know, and I think we're a part of something that's really interesting right now, and that the human race is becoming hyper aware of all the variables that are fucking it up. Yeah. And one of the big ones, of course, is the abuse and mishandling and misraising of children.
Yeah, man. So, to that point, there's this thing that I've been paying attention to that I think is happening. And so as we have more information, and as things happen faster, as all of this compounds and things go faster, I think that the impact of slowing down becomes very, very valuable very, very quickly. So, you know, we're talking about all these wilderness experiences. I also bring up, like, meditation or any of these things. I think that as other things speed up, I think that these things like have the power to just smack you across your face and like change things fast, you know. And I don't know, this has just been observation for 10 years or so, but I think that 150 years ago or whatever in the Western United States, if we had slow lives, I don't think we would have had a huge impact by going and camping for a week. But today, when you're pulled out of your crazy digital electronic life and you go back and you feel that human simplicity for a little bit of time, I think the combination of the two offers a really powerful place, a really crazy impact. Because if you can get that awareness and sort of the impact of slowing down, compounded with all of the information and the power and everything that we have, I think we're on the verge, or a very ripe place. I think it's a time where people can really change themselves a lot quicker, or maybe even a lot more than they think is. That's another thing. I would love for people just to think or believe that things could be different, that they could change, you know? Because I mean, that's what I've been involved in for so long, and it is possible, you know? If you don't.
Well, I think also any kind of a trip, whether it's a meditative trip or even just a camping trip or something where you have that opportunity to sort of reset and reassess, it gives you sovereignty. It gives you personal sovereignty instead of just being caught up in the momentum. A buddy of mine, my friend Ari Shafir, again, bringing him up again, was with another buddy of mine, Big J Okerson, and they were watching this couple make out through a window. They were doing a podcast. And they were on the roof, and they were watching this couple through the window. This couple were making out, and then in the middle of making out, they start checking their phones. I mean, this is what's going on today.
That's kind of sad.
It's kind of sad, but maybe they both suck in bed for the better. But you gotta not just have all this access to data, but also have the ability to decide what you take in and what you don't take in. I think that's we're passing the wildlife viewing area.
Doesn't look too wild.
I think they're talking about the humans that live here, near in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a supercharged time for that, man. And it's cool to see people like literally change their lives. One other thing I'm involved in is I started a men's group in Bozeman, where I live in Montana, and I've been a part of men's groups for a while, probably 6 or 7 years, and I think it's something that's really not understood or really not even known about, but really all it is, it's a group of guys who get together to really practice being completely real and really clear all the bullshit out of the way, and it's been incredibly helpful for me. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, but just that I've been party or privy to so many people just sort of like just changing, like, you know, being a lot more fucking happy and a lot more productive, and I think it's easy to get stuck in thinking that things just are how they are, and the sovereignty is huge, man. Yeah. That's the biggest thing, like owning what you feel, owning what you want, owning who you are, all of that.
Well, it's also a lot of times people, they get out of high school, they go into college, they get out of college, they get a job, they start the career, they push forth in their career, and before they know it, they're fucking 40 years old, and they can't stop the momentum of their life, and they're not enjoying it.
No, they're desperate, dude. They're quietly desperate.
Yeah, wasn't that Thoreau? Yeah. Most men lead lives of quiet desperation. Exactly. It's such a great fucking quote.
So why aren't we teaching every 17-year-old kid who's coming out of high school, like, hey, that's probably your future, you know, once you get on top of this?
Well, you know how you teach people that? Like this.
Yeah.
They listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
They hear people talk. They realize that their parents didn't have any fucking awesome information. They, you know, and look, a lot of parents, they mean the right thing when they tell them, get a good job, don't take any chances. You know, well, you got a dream, huh? Yeah, well, the dreams don't pay the bills.
Right.
They're not doing that because they're assholes for the most part. They're doing that because that's been their experience in their life, and they don't want their kid to be a fucking idiot. Yeah. And they don't understand. They don't know. But,
yeah, so listen up, fuckers. Like, look around and notice how many adults either have shitty lives they don't like, or are like going through massive amounts of self-help or therapy or all these things at old ages, and not,
Where do you think antidepressants come from?
Oh, yeah.
Do that many people have broken brains?
No.
Or is there... I'm not denying that there's most certainly quite a few people that have natural chemical imbalances, and pharmaceutical drugs can benefit them. That's true. Absolutely. No doubt about it. But I know for a fact there's a lot of people who get medicated because they fucking hate their lives. Mm-hmm. Instead of picking a life that you enjoy or working towards developing your life into something that you'd enjoy. And some of the most satisfying email and tweet messages and Facebook things that I've ever gotten is people that have listened to this podcast and said, you know what, I realize I am 36 and I've always wanted to do this, and I'm going to quit my fucking job and I'm going to figure out how to do that. Yeah. And I'm going to work towards that. I'm going to save up some money. I'm going to fucking, whatever it is, I'm going to make pottery. I'm going to start fucking selling my paintings or whatever the fuck it is. Everybody's got a thing. And if you don't have a thing, find a fucking thing. But you can't think that whole, work, get a good job, get your benefits, and don't do anything stupid because you don't want to get fired. That life is bullshit. That is a bullshit life.
Totally.
If you got a good job that you enjoy, that's a great life. And then your job doesn't feel like a job. I mean, even though it can be challenging and difficult, if you can find something you actually enjoy doing, your life will be immeasurably better than if you're just grinding it out, waiting for that 5 o'clock fucking buzzer to come.
Right.